YouTube, welcome your beautiful faces back to another video. In the grand scheme of chess, we all suck, okay? I don't care if you're Magnus Carlsen sat at home right now, we all suck. Actually, maybe I'm not going to start the video calling Magnus Carlsen bad at chess, but in comparison to all the AI, the chess engines, all the theory that is out there now, humans suck at chess. So I think it's important to celebrate the small wins, okay? Whenever we get a small win in chess, it's important to celebrate it, because in the grand scheme of things, we are all so bad. Okay, so in this video, I play a longer time control game, and I get my best ever win, playing an opponent that is close to 100 elo higher than me. I've never beat someone of such high elo. To a lot of you though, it's not really going to be anything. You might not learn anything, so just stick around for the comedy, okay, because I'm a funny guy. If you're new around here, smash that subscribe button, I'll give you all a kiss. That's just how it's going to go. Without further ado, guys, let's jump into my best ever chess win. Okay, you handsome devils, we are here with the chess review. So as you can see on your screen, I played at a 90 accuracy. That's pretty good, okay? It's very rare that happens for me, so go on, leave some love in the comments for that. My opponent played at a 69.5. So it's very clear I didn't really earn my advantage in this game, okay? They kind of gifted me it. But the beautiful thing about chess is you actually have to find the moves, okay? If your opponent blunders, you have to prove it. You don't just instantly get an advantage, you have to play the right moves to prove it. And in this video we do just that. So as you can see from this graph as well, I mean, it's just gorgeous, isn't it? It's perfectly linear. Not really, but we scroll down a little bit. We had a brilliant move. I'm sure you're all very excited to see that. Game rating of 2050, so, you know, only another 800, 700 elo for me to go before I'm there. Shouldn't take too long. Opening, 100% accuracy. Middle game, 87.5 with a little brilliant icon. Mwah, mwah. Absolutely gorgeous. Okay, let's jump into analysis. Game starts, guys. E4, E5, knight F3, and knight C6. Now, there are many lines you can go into from here. If you have watched quite a few of my videos on this channel, you'll know I love the Italian. I don't know why that arrow's not loading properly. There we go. You'll know I love the Italian. You could obviously play the Roy Lopez. You could go into a Scotch. In this video, I opt for a Scotch, okay? I've been loving the Scotch opening recently. I mean, as you can tell from my 100% accuracy, it's clearly been going somewhat well. Let me just move my camera a little bit so I'm a bit more in the middle. Way, there we go. Okay, so yeah, we opted for a Scotch. They choose to take, I take back with the knight, and here they play the weirdest move I've ever seen in a Scotch opening. Queen e7. This is why, guys, it's important to know your openings, okay? Because we are on move 4, and the engine thinks I'm plus 1.27. Okay? That's absolutely ridiculous. Learn your openings. Knight c3 I played. I'm completely out of theory here, okay? I'm just expecting him to take the knight, I'm going to take with the queen, and then we're going to carry on our development. But no, queen e7, so I'm thinking, what the hell am I meant to play? So I choose to play knight c3, and the reason I played this, just defending this pawn, it seemed pretty natural. They then take the knight, so I take back with the queen, and then they play the move c5, immediately attacking my queen. Now in this position, I was calculating a couple of moves. I looked at like a4, queen a4, but it just felt like my queen was sort of trapped on the side of the board, not really doing much. Obviously, I'd be pinning this d7 pawn to the king. So it's not all bad, especially because the queen is blocking this dark squared bishop in. So by the time they get everything out the way and castled, my development is going to be significantly better. Does that make sense? So I looked at that. I also looked at a move like queen c4. Or like queen d3, but the reason I didn't play these is because I didn't really like the idea of blocking in my light squared bishop, because in an ideal world I want to put my bishop on this c4 square. So I don't know, it just felt a little bit rogue to me, but nonetheless I played the move queen d1, which is given as an inaccuracy, but you know, don't hate me, okay? It's not my fault, I suck at chess. They then develop their knight. I develop my queen to f3 just because I don't have a knight here anymore. So it felt good to get some sort of pressure on this side of the board. I hope that makes sense. And then h3. Now the reason I played h3 was because I absolutely hated the idea of this bishop jumping in. Okay, because it's obviously defended by the knight, and I know I can just move my queen, but I thought I'd play h3 just in preparation for that. Engine hates me. My camera clearly also hates me because it keeps just flying away. Stay. Stay. Good camera. Okay, we're back. We're back. Yeah, so I played h3. Engine wants to kill me for it. What can you do? Bishop d7 is then played, so it looks like my opponent is actually opting for long castling, which is fine by me because they've pushed their c and d pawns, so it's not the safest king in the world if they do opt for long castling. I can get my bishop over there. This bishop can come here, just firing down this side of the board. I'd be very happy if they long castled. I then play, this move, bishop to c4, which, like I said earlier, is exactly where I wanted my bishop, just firing down. So if they ever do short castle, it's going to be a long day at the office for them. Bishop c6, so this puts a lot of pressure on this pawn. So if you'll notice, the knight, the queen, and this bishop all attacking this pawn. And I've only got a knight and a queen defending the pawn. So 3 attackers, 2 defenders. I'm going to lose that exchange. Also, guys, for my long-term viewers, don't worry, I've got a T. For my newer viewers, hi, I love you, subscribe. But I always have a T in a video. Oh, what a brew, what a brew. Yes, I'm very British. So yeah, bishop c6, so there's a lot of attackers on this pawn right now, so you're probably wondering, right, so the bishop's going to have to drop back to sort of d3 to defend this pawn, or you can maybe put it on d5. Obviously, I can't put it on d5 because after takes, takes, and takes, I can't take back because the queen pins me. But I actually play the really random move, castling. Now, I spent a little bit of my time thinking about this, probably like a minute and a half, 2 minutes. And the reason I played this was because I noticed the queen is in front of the king. So if I ever get in a situation where I've got a rook on e1, and say there's a bishop that takes this, and then a knight, and then a knight, and then a rook e1, you're in trouble. Okay, you are in big trouble. You don't want to lose your queen this early on in the game. So I castle, and the engine absolutely loves it. b5. This is a mistake. Now, the reason this is a mistake is because obviously I can just take this pawn. I can just take the pawn, and I'm pinning the bishop to the king, so they have to take, and then I take back, and I'm just up a pawn. Okay, so my opponent just gifted me a pawn. Now, I didn't play that. I played this move, bishop d5, which is given as an inaccuracy, but I'm so fixated on this idea of winning this queen with rook e1 that I don't know. I just opted not to be up a pawn. I don't know why, guys. I really don't know why. But nonetheless, we're in this position. When you're playing somebody significantly better than you, I don't know, you just get a little bit anxious, don't you? Like, you really, really want to win. And the whole time I'm playing this game, by the way, I'm thinking, oh my god, Max, please win this. You imagine the recap. Imagine your 12 viewers bathing in the glory with you. It's going to be glorious. So I'm very nervous. They take. Now, do I take with the knight or do I take with the pawn? As you can see on the right hand side of your screen, the engine doesn't really think there is much of a difference. So it doesn't actually matter which I take back with, but I spent quite a bit of time and eventually took back with the pawn. Now the reason I took back with the pawn, because if they take with the knight, I can play rook e1 and win the queen. So I'll just show you, for example, oh wow, it actually just wants this right away. What would happen here then? Oh no, you can't because I've not moved my bishop out yet. Guys, I'm so stupid, it's unbelievable. But anyway, that would just hang a knight, so obviously you can't do that. They push this pawn. I ignore the threat on my knight, okay? It's one of the scariest things to do in chess. It's something called danger levels, okay? You probably hear Levy Rosman talk about it all the time. When you're attacked, you don't always have to move away. So I play this really strange looking move, bishop g5. It's a brilliant move. See if you can work out why. Of course you can. You guys are geniuses. Takes. It actually wants my a rook, but I'd move this rook. and I'm winning a queen. It's given us an inaccuracy, but just shut up. That is not an inaccuracy. I'm up a queen. Leave me alone, engine. How are they going to give an inaccuracy for me being up a queen? Do you know how ridiculous that is, guys? That's absolutely ridiculous. So obviously, my opponent, who is significantly better than me, long castles. Best move in the position. Really, really good move. It's tricky to find as well because, I mean, you've pushed all these pawns forwards. Do you really want to be long castling? I would personally hate to long castle in this position, but it is the best move, so fair play to my opponent. And now in this position I play rook e1. Still ignoring this threat on my knight. I'm saying take my knight. I will take your queen. That's absolutely fine by me. They move their queen on over, and then I take this knight. And now the reason I take this knight and don't move this knight is because after takes, I can slide on back with my bishop, and my pawn structure is still completely intact. This b2 pawn is under no threat because it's protected by my bishop. So it's just pretty glorious. But they take my bishop, and then I move my knight over to e4, setting up some checking ideas maybe later down the line if I can move my queen up to f4 or something. We'll see what happens. They play this weird looking move bishop to g7. I understand the idea. Okay, in an ideal world, right, they'd get to play here, attacking my knight and attacking this pawn at the same time. So I can't protect both of them. But I play this move, queen to f4. It's a strange looking move, I know, but if they now push this pawn, I'm going to give this check, forking these pieces, so you have to lose a rook. So I was pretty happy with this find. They take this pawn though, and I play the move rook to d1. This is an insane play by my opponent. I mean, if anything, they're doing me a favour, because they remove my pawn out the way of this rook. I mean, just look at these two centralised rooks. There is simply no way I lose this game from here. But obviously, I can't see the evaluation bar while I'm playing. So I am absolutely terrified. So yeah, I play this move. And I knew that they would take this pawn. Obviously, it hangs a pawn, but I can give this check. And now, no matter where the king moves, I'm going to have a discovered check. If you don't know what a discovered check is, guys, let's say, for example, they play here. Okay, I can actually play this move knight to e8 with check. So they can't take my knight because my queen has it in check. And I'm blocking this rook from the protection. Okay, it's a really strange tactic, but let's say, I don't know, they block with this rook. Then I take. Let's say they move here. I have queen c7 checkmate. It's absolutely glorious. And let's say the discovered check comes this way. Oh wow, it actually wants queen e4. See, I never would have found queen e4. I'd probably just have played something like this, forking the two rooks, while also having the king in check. So it was a really nice find, this move, knight to d6. Not just because I'm taking a pawn, but also because it's a discovered check. Unless they sack the rook, which they had to do. So now I've exchanged my knight for a rook, which is just completely winning in an endgame. Now my objective from this position is just to try and trade off as much as we can. If we can trade off a rook, that's wonderful for me, because I'll be able to convert the endgame easily, just because there's no real pressure at that point. My opponent picks up a pawn, so I do the same, but the difference is I do it with a check. My opponent slides on over, because obviously they don't really have a choice, they have to go left because of my rook on this d-file. I then play this gorgeous, gorgeous looking move, rook e7. If you don't do puzzles, guys, definitely do puzzles. A lot of the time, when you get to like the 2000 rated puzzles, it's really intricate, subtle moves that set up mate. Okay, so like rook to e7, you might think, okay, so you're just trying to win this pawn, doesn't really do anything. No. My opponent cannot stop me from checkmating them, because they cannot block this square. If they go here, I go here. Okay? If they play, I don't know, what else could they even play? I don't know, queen here, blocking this. I go here, here, and then here. Like, there is literally nothing my opponent can do from this position. They go king here, and I take. I don't take. I give checkmate. So guys, that is my best ever win. I mean, absolutely over the moon with it, to be completely honest. 90 accuracy, like we said earlier, but I was mainly happy with my middle game. Normally my middle game accuracy is in the 70s, but I've started playing longer time controls. It's helped so much, guys. If you're actually serious about wanting to improve at chess, and I don't just mean like you want a higher elo, like you actually want to notice a tangible difference in your gameplay, I cannot recommend enough. Stop playing so many games, guys. Just play 1 or 2 longer time control games a day and review them, because you can learn so much from reviewing your own games. The only, I guess, difficult part is you don't have somebody explaining why that's a good move, why that's a bad move. But oftentimes you can just work it out if you follow the lines for long enough. So yeah, honestly guys, just play longer time controls, do puzzles, and you will improve. Despite the fact that 95% of you watching this video are higher rated than me, I'm very well aware. I'll get there though, guys. I will get there. Let's make my face a bit bigger for the outro. Why don't we? Let's do it live. Whoa, that got big. Guys, if you enjoyed this video, please smash that like button. Subscribe if you are new. I will kiss you all. Without further ado, goodbye.